Hi everyone, and welcome back to Arguably Speaking.
I'm Kiera.
I'm Sarah.
And today we have a special guest.
Yay!
Hello. Kade has returned. I don't know.
Kade has
What's
returned.
the best way to...
Kade is back.
And Kade is back because we have officially ended the long distance friendshiping.
Woo! Close distance friendshipping.
Kade, we lovingly convinced to move into our house over the summer because we had somebody move out and we're like, we need a subleaser. This would be perfect. You should come hang out with us. It's beautiful. The weather's great and we miss you.
And now I'd be here.
And now he's here.
Boom.
And now
There
he's
you go.
here.
And I come home and I go, hello. And then Kade goes, hello. And it's very fun.
No, it's amazing. And it's been nice. It's been really busy. As we mentioned, I think in the last podcast, because for you, dear listeners, it has not been so long since you've heard from us. But since we have actively potted together, it's been a minute. Lots of stuff has happened, and we'll probably split like the time that we've been away up into multiple catch-ups. But it is now July.
Yeah, which is absolutely wild. It is the same month that I will be moving away from these beautiful people now, which makes it feel so bittersweet, but also so precious. All of the time is important.
Yeah, it's sad. Our overlap time is definitely short and sweet, but we wanted to be able to come back and recap all of the stuff that's happened.
Yes, so many things.
If you remember last time, we were talking about the hectic weekends and everything because it's officially summer. I had just graduated, and we were on the cusp of dear best friend also in the house who lives with us. Obviously, that's what happens when you live in the same house. You're roommates and live together.
Amazingly said.
Thank you. I am eloquent and very, very succinct in my words. It was Bella's birthday. Roommate Bella's birthday. And we did something special.
Yeah.
We did.
Also, I drove up the day before.
This is very true.
We don't do these catch-ups chronologically.
Kade showed up the night before. And because Kade showed up the night before, he was able to attend a very special event. We had a tea party.
A tea party.
And it was very fun. Bella and I stayed up really, really late 2 nights before and baked some macarons. And we made orange and peppermint macaron cookies. And then we had chocolate and strawberry frosting. And we mixed and mingled the different flavors and had a lovely time. A bunch of people came. We all dressed in pretty little dresses and drank our pretty little tea. And it was absolutely lovely.
Yeah, the weather didn't quite cooperate with us because it was like rainy and then sunny and then rainy and then sunny. But it was so nice to have Kade there, but so unexpected because you drove 20 hours straight. Would you like to share a little bit about this?
Yeah, I was determined with the power of friendship and just angsty energy driving all the way up here. I listened to a D&D podcast a lot of the way. So that helped my brain to not drop. But I was like, okay, I'll make it to Boise. And then it was like 4 p.m. And I was like, I can't go to sleep at 4 p.m.
True.
Let me just keep driving and we'll see how far I get. And then I was in Yakima and I said, how do you feel if I show up tonight?
He called me at like 10
It was like
p.m.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was in a Walmart parking lot.
Oh my god.
I was out at like, it's called Hot Cakes, so it's this lava cake ice cream place.
Yeah.
Cute.
And I was like, what do you mean your ETA is 12:30? Like, a.m.? PM? What do you mean? He's like, tonight, I'll be here soon. And he's like, will you wait up for me? And I was like, yeah, sure. I can do that. So then he was here. And honestly, it was probably nice to be able to have a full weekend day. I mean, granted, the weekdays don't really matter as much, but we weren't working during the week, so we got to hang out during the weekend.
Right, which was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
So we had tea party, and then I went to a little barbecue with friends in the afternoon, and it cleared up the next day. That was a Saturday. Now we're on to Sunday. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Saturday
Kate came in on
night-
Friday.
Saturday night, Bella and I went up to Bellingham and went out, which was crazy because that was the same weekend that Bellingham's university, Western Washington University, had graduated.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
so there were like loads of people out, and that was pretty fun. We ended up getting a nice Seattle dog to round off the night, and yeah, I think Bella had a really lovely birthday. Felt very celebrated.
Oh,
So that's
good.
good. Yeah.
That's what we aspire to do as good friends.
That's what we want, indeed. Indeed. But yeah.
Yeah, and then right after that, our stories diverge a little bit. Because
Yes.
I went home to Colorado to visit some family and to help my grandmother with a garage sale.
Amazing.
Yes. More on that later.
That's so cute.
But during this period of time, which we have an end date, so we're only going to go up until that end date to talk about fun events that we did. I also took a quick trip to Yellowstone.
Very fun.
So I had never been to Yellowstone National Park. The way we went was through the Grand Tetons, so it was really beautiful. We got to see that mountain range. And then the actual park itself has 2 big loops, and they're each like 100+ miles around. Like, they're really big loops.
Yeah.
And we were staying in West Yellowstone, and it was just gorgeous. There was so much to see. There were so many bison. I was shocked at how many there were. I thought we were going to be like just very lucky and see 1 or 2, but we saw herds of them, like every day, multiple herds, which was really, really
Wow.
great. We saw all of the gorgeous geysers. Of course, we saw Old Faithful erupt, which was really awesome. And we had seen a lot of the geothermal pools and rivers. And I completed one of Sarah's summer bucket list items.
Oh my gosh, what did you do?
I saw a bear in the wild.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. No, honestly. What kind of bear was it?
I couldn't tell from how far we were away. I think it was like a black bear.
Wow.
Yeah, but it
That's
had
so
3
neat.
little cubs, and it was
Oh my
very
gosh.
cute, and we were just like moseying on through, like just trying to keep the traffic moving. But Yellowstone was gorgeous, and it was really nice to be out and away in the middle of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
that was my
gosh.
big exciting thing. Mostly when I was home in Colorado, I said hello to like family and friends and people that are still out there. So there's a lot of catching up and doing that kind of good stuff. I did make a really, really bad cake, but it wasn't my fault. I went over to a friend's house and she had just moved, and I was like, okay, I brought this cake mix because you said you wanted to bake, and I thought it'd be easy. And she's like, oh, great. I know I said I wanted to bake. I actually just moved and I don't have any ingredients. I only have 2 out of the 3 eggs. I don't have any oil and I have water. What do you think we can do? And I was like, try.
That's all you can do is try.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So the cake turned out horrible. It was so crumbly. It was like hilarious how bad it was though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was my time at home.
That's hysterical.
What was the time like here? What was happening in Seattle?
Well, I had the day off on Wednesday because the University of Washington observes the Juneteenth, and so Kade and I got to have a lovely afternoon.
Yeah. We went, let's see, because we went paddleboarding in the mid-morning time, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was nice, and we went down to that one park.
Gasworks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one. And and I almost sank because my paddleboard's
Yeah.
slightly a little too small for me. But it functioned. It functioned long enough, and that's all I can ask.
It's true. It was very fun. Neither of us really stood up that much.
You did though. Like you started moving. You were skirting,
Thank you.
and I was like, "This girl is going for it." I would fall in the ocean, and I did not feel like doing that.
Yeah, I fortunately had a much bigger paddleboard I was borrowing from other named roommate who has
Matthew.
guested. And so I had a really easy time in terms of balancing compared to you because the person to the board ratio was a lot smaller. Question
Yeah.
mark?
Also, there was like boats in the way
There were
as well,
boats.
and so it was like
boats
with bumps
Yeah.
Okay.
and waves.
I recently paddleboarded out there, and it is a bit like
Yeah.
stressful,
Yeah.
It's
especially
chummy.
especially when you have two boats that are kind of coming on either side, and then
Yeah.
the waves connect over one and make a big wave.
Yeah,
Yeah, stressful.
It was
Super
a bit
stressful.
scary, but that was also on my bucket list, was to paddleboard with Kate. So
Yeah.
I was feeling pretty
Boom.
dang snazzy about that one. And then on Friday, I checked off yet another bucket list item. I went on a ferry, which it was actually a whale watching tour. But the fun part about that was that we didn't see a single whale.
Yay!
Yay! So they gave us a voucher, and the person I was going with was roommate Bella, and she got to go again, and she did get to see orcas, which was awesome. I was not able to go again, so she took another friend. Another reason why she took another friend was because I got really seasick and threw up on the boat. Into a toilet, because I'm so strong and smart, but also I'm just a queasy little girl who can't handle it. And so yeah, that was a little disappointing not being able to see a whale, but I am checking off my go on a ferry ride because we did stay on that boat for like 5 hours and we saw a lot of water and a couple of nice places. We went underneath the bridge. Deception Pass.
Wow.
I was gonna say desolation, and I knew that wasn't right.
I'm really
Desolation.
impressed that I got that. There was
did
like
great.
no context clues except for the first letter.
You did so well. But yeah, so that was fun, except for the fact that I threw up, but it was still very fun. And Bella got some good being friends time together, and then I went to a frisbee tournament in Oregon.
Oh my
which was super
gosh.
fun. The frisbee tournament, not super notable beyond the fact that we won a game, which has not happened at this tournament for my team for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So who's to say? Maybe it was because I'm on the team now.
It was you.
It was probably
Obviously
me.
you.
If you're listening from the team, don't worry. I don't think it was all me. I think you're all wonderful and beautiful and talented people. The only other thing that was super notable about this tournament was that I got really sunburned.
Dang.
Like,
Did
girl
you wear
was...
sunscreen?
So I put on... Okay, here's the deal. I put on sunscreen on the morning everywhere. And then I reapplied on my arms and my shoulders. And I reapplied on my face the first day. But I did not reapply on my legs because I kept on looking down and being like, I think I look fine. Like, I'm not feeling warm down there.
Okay.
And the front of my legs were fine, actually. But the backs of my calves were just, like, tomato pain,
Dang.
radiating heat. Like, I was, like, in so much terrible, awful pain. And I got a really nice line where my socks were. It's faded a little bit now. I've healed up, thankfully, due to the power of modern aloe vera and lotion.
Modern aloe vera.
And time. But yeah, everyone was giggling at me. I'm gonna be in the mockumentary documenting the series.
Good.
Or the season. Just a video of my sunburnt little calves. My little red calves.
Aww.
So, yeah. But it was still a very fun time. Got to see some fields of Oregon and a Chipotle and a QFC. So that was
Amazing.
lovely.
And you
Yeah.
didn't get ice cream.
We did
That
not
was
get ice
also
cream.
notable.
That's true. I was promised
What?
that we were gonna get Menchie's after team dinner, and so I didn't get a shake at dinner because I was like, I'm gonna have Menchie's later, which is way more exciting because how often do you get frozen yogurt? Not that often. It's like the fad died out or something. And then everyone was like, actually, we're too tired to go with you, Sarah. And so I sent Kade a really sad Snapchat. And I sent my friends in Nebraska, who I used to get ice cream with after Frisbee, a really sad Snapchat. And then I went to sleep. But it's okay.
You are so strong. I don't know how you make it through these things.
My life is really hard, okay? Sometimes you get promised ice cream and you don't order a shake, and then you don't get any ice cream or a shake.
Yeah, I don't know how to comfort you right now. It feels like insurmountable, the pain that you're in.
It was really, really sad, okay? I was having so much fun in a new place, staying in a nice, well, not a nice hotel, but a hotel, you know. I was out and about, but I didn't get ice cream, so I was sad, like a dingus. But anyways, that was my lovely weekend.
Amazing. So, Kate, are there any notable things that you want to add before we go into the topic for this week? I know that you've been exploring Seattle a little bit, getting to know the neighborhood. Yeah.
I don't know. I literacied.
Literacy. You read 3 books.
I read 3 books.
That's a lot of books.
And I'm partway through a 4, the next one.
Very nice.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been psychoanalyzing people, and discovering new cultural aspects of the environment by which we live.
Cool.
And that's always interesting. Also, there were people over here like the entire time that I was here.
True.
Which is crazy.
We did have a guest.
We had a guest over, and then also Bella's friends were just here like 4 days in a row hanging out. And I was like, oh, hey.
What's up?
Bella really took advantage of the fact that the house was in and out so much.
Yeah.
And good for her.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's a space for entertaining.
Exactly.
it is indeed.
Yeah.
So, Kiera, what's our episode topic?
So, because we have Kade back in our clutches and we get to hang out, we thought we'd have a little bit of a nostalgia run and
Okay.
go back to our high school extracurriculars.
Oh, okay.
Because this was like some of our formative years, let's be real.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of overlapping, but a lot of different diverging hobbies and extracurriculars as well.
Yes.
It's true. It's true. So, do we want to start at the beginning of our high school careers?
I think if we go chronologically, that would be easiest. So we
Okay.
start freshman year.
Okay.
For freshman year, and obviously some of these like go throughout the entire time, maybe that you're in high school. But yeah, we're starting off freshman year. You can talk about anything that you want related to your extracurriculars, but it can't be like, oh, I was in like writing club. I don't know. That feels well.
Okay,
You're
sure,
the ham
sure.
club.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it shouldn't be directly linked to
A class.
coursework.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the writing club was a bad example, but if it was something that you're doing outside of school that was directly related to a course you took, we should omit that. This is specifically things that are extra
Okay.
Yes.
curricular.
Perfect. I know
Yes.
exactly what I want to say.
Yes.
Amazing. So freshman year, start out. What does your freshman year extracurricular activity schedule look like?
I was coming to our high school from a smaller school in a different town, and so I didn't know anything about high school. No one really gave me a rundown. I had not seen anything. I didn't know anything. I didn't get instructions, whatever. And so I sign up for my classes, and so I sign up for yearbook because I was in yearbook in middle school.
Yeah,
and I was
of
like,
course.
this is going to be awesome. Yearbook will be my
Yearbook girly.
personality.
Yeah.
I had read a fiction book about this girl who did high school and yearbook, and she loved it, and I was like, I'm gonna be this girl. Life set. Perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna be so artsy and no one's gonna know that I'm a massive nerd. And I needed to sign up for another class, and I was like, well, I need something for my morning slot. What do I do? And my mom was like, hey, I was in marching band. You played the clarinet for a year in middle school. Why don't you try out band? And I was like, okay. So I signed up for marching band.
Is that really how you got involved in it?
Literally.
Re-
Yeah.
oh, I
right?
didn't
So
know
I was
that.
like, why not? Band is cool, whatever. And so I show up to class. Little did I know that everyone in marching band had gone to an entire 4-day camp over the summer. They all knew each other and no one knew me. So everyone thought that I was a transfer student. Thought that I was like a sophomore year transfer student.
Oh, interesting.
Right, because none of the freshmen knew me, and I was like, I'm too cool. I'm afraid
you're
of
tall.
all of you, and I'm tall,
You're a tall
and
girl.
I don't look super young, right? And so I just showed up, and I was like, I haven't played my clarinet in like 2.5 years, but like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then I did marching band and yearbook, and that was pretty much me. I joined student council a bit later, because I didn't realize that was something you could join right at the beginning. But I joined student council because we did a pep rally, and there was a very tall, cute boy in student council at the pep rally.
Wow.
Because we had individual, like, class meetings. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
We had, like, a freshman year class meeting, and this was, like, the first boy that talked to me at the high school, and he was really tall, and I was like, I want to know him, and so I joined student council.
You know what? I'm so happy that you have really good motivations between all of the ways that you are engaging with the school.
Wow.
Mom told you to, and cute boy.
Yep. And your book was just because
In
I
a
read
movie.
a book. I read a book and I was like, I want to be that girl.
That girl.
Oh my gosh, I'm ready. So that's how I got
funny.
into these extracurriculars.
That's really funny.
And those were my 3 for freshman year. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so Kade, what were your freshman year extracurriculars?
I ran. That was what I do. My mother was my coach, and my sisters were fast, and I said, I'm gonna be fast as well. So I literally just ran, and that was my activities.
So what did you run
I ran cross country and track. My mom was the head coach for the cross country team, and then track, my mother kind of gave up the reins because she worked with the middle school kids.
Oh.
And so, yeah, that was kind of it. I think that was, like, my focus in life. At that point in time, I was, like, starting to improve a lot because I had hit puberty. And so I was no longer tiny little man. And also, I, like, during the winter time, that was... Every year after that, all the team, like, discovered, if you run during the winter, like, you can improve a lot more. But nobody did that other than me.
Wow.
Over the winter. So
Wow.
I did all these little workouts I set up for myself, in order to get my mile time under 5:20, and I
Wow.
ran a 5:07. So
You're
Wow.
kidding.
I was like, dang, yeah.
That's
On my own
remarkable.
planning. All my own workouts.
Yeah.
So was track and cross country like every single day after school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, because, once cross country ended, end of October, November, then I just continued to run all winter until track started in the spring. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. I feel like track and cross country are like the ultimate year-round sports.
yeah, especially now that they, like when my mom was in school, they didn't run all year. Like, the kids were like, you run in the fall, and then you run in the spring, and then every other time you just hang out and do what you want. But because it's so competitive now, they've changed it to where, like, literally everybody runs year-round and doesn't stop.
Wow.
It's
Well,
crazy.
arguably, Kade is the only real high school athlete of us
True.
three.
Oh my god, I almost forgot. I also did golf freshman
I
You also
year.
did golf.
I know.
The motivation for joining golf was because I had a female math teacher who was so cool. I'm not saying female math teacher because I don't think that math teachers are, like, characteristically male. It's just that this was the first time that I had a female math teacher that was, like, only math.
Yeah.
And I thought she was the bomb. And she was like, you should all try out for women's golf. You can get good scholarships. And I was like, I want you to like me.
Additionally, the thing that Sarah's not telling you is she wanted to just let her in a sport.
I did.
And there was no way to not let her in golf because nobody was doing it. So
was like
you
3
immediately got on varsity.
Guess who was varsity in her freshman year? It was
Wow.
me.
Wow.
Yeah.
In golf. I also lettered in yearbook freshman year, which is uncharacteristic.
Dang.
So.
Wow.
Well, so the amount of letters in our grade, I didn't realize you were one of the few. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I did?
Kira's like, wait, now to me. Kira, what did you do?
I did a couple things, but we'll start with the best one. I did Knowledge Bowl.
Yeah, you did. Answer those questions.
So, if you don't know what Knowledge Bowl is competitive trivia.
Amazing.
And my friend's sister was in it, and she thought it was the coolest thing ever. And my friend thought her sister was the coolest thing ever. And I thought my friend was the coolest thing ever. So we all did Knowledge Bowl.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Essentially, I think it was like 2 days out of the week. And we would go to the math teacher's classroom.
Heck yeah.
And we would just practice. We would sit. We had these buzzers. You would buzz in, and there was only one person that could answer per team, but you could deliberate, and that person had to answer. And then we did have competitions. You would have to go, and you had to compete against other people doing trivia. And it wasn't just like random trivia. It was generally associated with like history or like science or something like that. But it wasn't something I had to do.
Yeah.
You were not forced into
It
trivia.
was for funsies.
I did choose to do it, and I lettered my freshman year.
Oh yeah, you did.
I lettered in Knowledge Bowl, and
That's
I did feel accomplished. Additionally, I pretended to do sports because I had done volleyball for all of my middle school career. And you know what? I'm not that good at any sports. Period. Still true today. And I was very average, maybe even below average at volleyball, but I was going to try out for sure. And I had come to all of the summer trainings and like worked out, and even though I hadn't really improved, like I was more fit.
That's so cute.
And I didn't get cut, so I made C team.
Amazing.
And that's what you do. And we went to, all of the games, and it was fun because sometimes you get called out of class. Hello, will the girls volleyball team please be excused from class because they have a tournament in whatever school.
Wow.
And then we would all leave and we'd go on the bus, and it was super fun.
Yeah.
And you just feel like way cooler when you're a part of something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not just like the normies.
I don't have to stay in class.
I was a normie. It's okay. The golf team never got called out for a tournament.
And that's why I thought I was better than you. Just kidding. There was like an ego boost though of just being able to leave class and not have to stay there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And additionally, when I wasn't doing volleyball, because volleyball was a fall thing, I was like, you know what's gonna help me with my swings and like staying active and things?
Mm-hmm.
Tennis. Also, the friend that I thought was really cool was like, will you do tennis with me? And I was like, okay, sure. And so I played tennis.
It needs to be said, I was not this friend.
No.
I know that Kiera and I seem like we've been friends for a really, really long time, but I was not this cool friend.
Yeah, he was just friend.
Kiera and I knew each other, but from afar.
Yeah, well, like, we did have one class together. We did have
That's so
construction one
true.
together, and we'll get back to that in a second.
Oh my god, okay.
But I played tennis. What I learned from tennis. One, I'm actually not that horrible at tennis. Arguably, I was better at tennis than I was at volleyball.
Amazing.
2, tennis has the best snacks. The tennis moms have got it on
kidding?
lock. I was eating so well.
Oh my
And
God.
we even had like, I don't know for sports and other things, like I think they always had like a team sleepover or a team like get together. At least that's how it was for us. We had one team outing and we went laser tagging.
You're kidding.
What? That's
Yeah,
fun.
That's so
that
fun.
was really cool, and I was
Aw.
like, "This is fun." I don't really know any of you except for my one friend, and you guys don't talk to me because you're all older than me. But
Aw.
it's
Lame.
okay.
Damn.
Sometimes you smile at me in the hallway.
Cute.
Additionally, I also was in theater.
No way, you were.
I was.
Yeah.
I was also.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. So
I forgot a lot of things that I did apparently. That's
I know.
so funny.
So freshman year, Sarah and I were both in theater. We did the production 13, the musical.
Yeah.
If you don't remember, this is where Ariana Grande got her start on Broadway.
Yes.
And also Liz Gillies.
Yes.
Yes.
The goth girl from Victorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kat.
Yeah.
Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, all the things.
Super fun.
And we put on a show. Sarah was a jock, and I was,
was.
like, a cheerleader or something.
Yeah, very cute. Very matching who we are now. Just kidding.
All right, rude. Unnecessary. Rude.
I'm a jock now. It's crazy. No, okay. I joined the musical. You joined your musical because the friend that you thought was really cool joined the musical.
I had already been in theater all of my middle school
Amazing.
years.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm sorry.
But my friend who I thought was really cool was also
in the musical. Very nice.
Yeah.
I joined
I
the
did
musical.
not understand who your friend was until I was like,
You got it.
okay, I had to sort through who you know.
Yes.
I was like,
Okay. I joined the musical because I sang all the time in band, and people would always try and get me to shut up. This older student, we remember him, was like, oh my gosh, you sing all the time in band, you should try out for the musical. And I was like, you are talking to me. This is cool. I want to have friends. The reason I had time to do all of these activities was because I didn't have any friends, nor a social life outside of school, so I joined a lot of activities to make friends. And it worked! It worked! And so anyways, that's why I did 13. And honestly, blast.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was the first time that we actually, well, at least from middle school was really low production, all right, for theater. High school wasn't that much better, but you know, it was still leaps and bounds better than middle school.
Yeah.
And I just remember the only reason I had time to do these extracurricular activities is because I didn't need any personal time.
Right.
I was like, one, most of my friends are in these things.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I just need to eat, sleep, go to school, and do extracurriculars. Who needs downtime?
No one.
Life hasn't really changed that much since then. But yeah, those were the big freshman year things.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
fun. At the end of my freshman year, I had one kind of friend that I was making through band, which was exciting. And she was going to try out for the show choir. And she said, hey, Sarah, you should try out for show choir with me. And so I was like, okay. And I never have to do anything. And I knew a couple of the seniors and the director of the show choir because they overlapped with band. And so I was like, I don't want to go in there and embarrass myself. So I practiced a song a lot. And now, I'm not going to tell you what the song was, but at the time, I thought it was really funny, and so did the people who were auditioning me, and now it is a little politically incorrect.
Wow.
But it's okay. We learn as we grow. But anyways, I sang my little song, and it went really well. Everyone was like, wow, like, thanks. I thought you were just some meek little band kid. We're so glad that you tried out. And I was like, that's awesome. Thank you. And I ended up getting into show choir, which was very exciting. So I did that my sophomore year. The friend that I tried out with did not make it into show choir and did move schools.
Wow.
So I did not have a friend in show choir. And I also did not really have any friends after freshman year because the other person that I had started trying to be friends with also moved schools.
You're starting from square one again.
I did. I had like 6 or 7 extracurriculars on my plate and no friends.
Aw, Sarah.
And then we met into sophomore year.
Yeah, and that will transition us into year 2 of extracurriculars, which did this change much from freshman year? You dropped golf for sure.
I definitely dropped golf, and I did not take the class yearbook, and therefore did a lot less. And
Okay.
By the end of the year, had dropped yearbook.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think 2 things happened for me sophomore year. One, I joined the ham radio club.
Oh my god, you did not. That's so funny.
All of my friends are nerds. What do you want from
Wow.
me? We were hanging out in
Look
the
at
teachers'
you.
classrooms during lunch and like trying to dial in radios and stuff.
That's so funny.
And it was just, we were like Fox, Alpha, Beta, Omega, and you're like, all right, cool. Look, we can hear some different static. I think there were times where we got people and we're like, this is so cool. We're just talking to someone from somewhere else. And that was like kind of, I don't know. I did do volleyball again. I did do tennis the second year. I did do the musical and the play. This
Yeah.
was the first year that I'd done the play because freshman year they did Anne Frank, and honestly, I just didn't think I fit the vibe. I'm a little Asian girl, and I don't think I fit the Anne Frank vibe.
Yeah.
So I didn't, audition for Anne Frank, but I did audition for Peter and the Starcatcher, and I got a good part. I was the Starcatcher.
Yeah.
And
Huge part.
I felt so special, and like I was like,
Granted,
this is my time.
Female lead.
The female lead, yeah.
Yeah.
And this was exciting. I also started working this year.
Really?
I'm pretty sure
Wait.
this was the first year I started working at the bakery.
Wow.
It was also.
Oh no! This was a year. Wait a second.
This was the ice cream shop.
This is the ice cream. Okay, so I worked at a bakery, but pre-bakery, I worked at the ice cream shop. And I will say the name of the ice cream shop because I think
It's
it's
closed.
closed now.
Yes.
It's called Conehead Ice Cream. And these people were awful. They made our lives horrible. They made us all do personality tests. They had a square of tape that we couldn't stand in. If you remember, I talked about this place on our first
Yes.
jobs
Yes.
episode. So if you want to know more about the crazy things that they made us do, you should go watch that episode.
You should.
They were very mean. But this was the first time that I started adding extracurriculars that I was getting paid for.
Amazing.
AKA work.
AKA.
And then finally, I do think this was the year that I joined National Honor Society? Or is that only a
Oh.
junior-senior thing?
I
I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
I wasn't in it.
It was either
I
sophomore...
was in it and then I dropped it.
They-
Yeah, because nobody could get their
They didn't
volunteer
ask me.
hours.
I hated volunteering.
They didn't ask
Because
me
I'm
even
a
though I had a
bad person.
4.0.
Oh, they what?
I had a high GPA
You didn't
and they
get-
didn't
you didn't get a
ask
letter
me
or
to.
something? Wow, that's
Sorry.
weird.
And I was like, and then they added me
Yeah.
later, and I was like, no.
Yeah, you're like, I'm too
like,
good for you now.
Sorry, you didn't want me at my also as good as I am right now, so you don't get me right now. Period.
You didn't want me yesterday, so you don't get me today.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
But those are the cool things that I added. NHS was just like, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
here. This is cool. I ran Trick or Treat Street, which is when all the little kids come into the high school and they go to all of the different hallways and all of the different classrooms and get candy instead of going to all the big scary houses.
Cute.
And that was fun. And our NHS thing, we just ran one hallway. It was, I think, run by student council, and we just ran one section of Trick or Treat Street.
Nice.
And it went swimmingly. It was fine.
Killer.
That was all
Absolutely
I
killer.
did.
Yeah.
Let's
And
see.
you?
I ran, but I got injured during cross country.
No.
The first meet turned out that I still deal with the same problem my psoas, but yeah, basically my muscles got too tight because my body is aggressive, and I just was hobbling and limping around for a month and a half,
Wow.
2 months.
Oh my
Dang.
goodness.
And I wasn't competing. I was just swimming. And my mom would drive me to the swimming pool, and I would do swim workouts and aqua jog.
And try to recover.
and trying to recover and ice and stuff. And then,
It's a bummer.
that's about it. Yeah. I still didn't do anything other than running. So.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Freshman and sophomore year, I'm not gonna lie, were mostly a blur
Mm.
because they were just the awkward years. You're just
Yeah.
I got my braces off
Killer.
later that year.
Nice. I have more to say about sophomore year because I went to 2 ham radio club meetings,
Okay.
and this was the beginning of my hating Kiera, but her not knowing.
Which is wild. Okay, wait, we have to go back to construction 1. Freshman
Okay.
year. Construction 1, freshman year, we're sitting next to each other. I thought Sarah was so cool. I was imitating your mannerisms. I don't know if you know that, but that's what I do when I think someone's cool.
Oh.
It happens all the time. But I was you were totally way buddy and friends with the teacher and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I was
loved that guy.
I could also do this by being similar to her.
Oh.
And so I was always a Sarah fan, alright?
Wow,
Sarah
I love
just
it.
didn't like me.
Okay, I did not like Kiera's sophomore year, mostly because Kiera got asked to homecoming by this boy in band that I liked. And I was so sad. I was so sad about it. But I wasn't, like, ever gonna say anything because that's embarrassing.
Sarah, that was freshman year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Never mind. Oh my god, so early. That's so funny.
She hated me the whole time.
Okay, so it must have been winter formal. It was like
It was
later.
winter formal.
Okay, perfect. So anyways, whatever. So I went to 2 things of this ham radio club because the boy that I liked that Kiera went to homecoming with we went to ham radio club and then Kiera was there and I was like, ugh,
I can't make a move.
this isn't good.
I can't make a move when Kira's here.
The
What are we gonna
funny
do?
thing is,
You
like,
were not, like...
I did not, we weren't, it wasn't long-lived.
It was just, like, just a dance.
We went on, like, a couple of dates, I think,
Yeah.
and they were awkward, and we were babies, and we were
It's just so funny.
It was also funny because everybody in the whole school was like, wow, Sarah and the person that she liked are, like, so similar. It'd be crazy if they dated, right? And then it never happened.
Yeah, literally. Never happened. Which is fine. We, like, became friends and everything.
Yeah. What really won you over was, well, it was probably junior year when I was just in your life, like the mere exposure effect.
Oh, literally. Well, it was because I was like, okay, sophomore year, I started to have friends. I started to have friends in band, one of which I live with right now, named Bella. She's awesome. So that was great. I started to make friends in band freshman year. I dropped yearbook. I became vice president of our class.
Oh, yeah.
In student council. I was, like, head over heels in love with our student council leader, director person. I hung out in her room during lunch all the time. Like, she was my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we were thick as thieves. We gossiped about other people in student council. Like, we hung out more than, like, anyone else besides, like, my band director and then my 2 friends from band. Which
Sarah's
is
really
crazy.
buddy-buddy with the teachers. Like,
Yes, the teachers thought I was fun and I thought they were fun. And so, I just threw myself into student council sophomore year and that was great. And I don't think I have anything else to say besides the fact that I disliked Kiera, which is really funny.
It's so funny because I didn't know. And I thought we were, like, at least friendly because we had such a history with our shared mutual friend that we continually bring up.
Right, it's
But
true.
Sarah
Well,
just didn't like me.
And also, like, you got a big point. You got a big part in the play. And I was like, she's talented and she's pretty. Okay. Ugh.
And she's seeing the boy I like.
Literally. I was like, Akira's the worst.
This is... Never mind.
This is really funny. And so, yeah, that was sophomore year. And then junior year happened.
Junior year. Junior year was a big year because this was the year, at the end of sophomore year, that I auditioned for show choir and got in.
Huge.
It was not mentioned before, but I did try out and did not get in the year prior. So, like, I got in this year, and it was really exciting because, like, when all of your friends are doing something, you want to do it too. And most of my friends were auditioning that year because they were on the musical. And the musical to show choir pipeline is strong. Like, come
Huge.
on.
So
come
huge.
on.
Yeah.
And so there were so many of my friends that were joining that year that hadn't been in previous year. And, like, I knew that Sarah was there, the friend that I keep mentioning that I really liked and thought was the best was also there. And when we all started show choir, that's when Sarah and I started becoming closer.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, this was accelerated by the friend that I really liked leaving and going to another school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So the friend that Kiera really liked was the only person that I really talked to my sophomore year in show choir. I was pretty quiet and all of them really scared me.
Mm-hmm.
Cause when you're, as Kate has mentioned in the past, when you're not a drama person and you're around a bunch of drama people,
You don't get it.
it's
You're scared.
hard.
You're scared.
You're scared. You're on the
You're
outside.
fighting for
you're
your
like,
life.
I'm confused. Help me.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
like another language.
It's like
Yeah.
being around a whole bunch of hippos, and you're like, these hippos can eat me alive.
so true. And they'll laugh about it later.
and they'll laugh about it.
And they will.
And they'll sing a song about it.
Yeah.
Literally. But anyway, so my one friend from show choir left, and Kira's friend, like, that she followed, not followed everywhere, but, like, was in all of the same things as, also left. And so Kira and I were like, hey, we gotta be friends now. Like, this is our time. This is our moment.
Well, again, I thought we were already friends. So, Sarah finally found it in her heart to like me.
I liked you. What was the musical sophomore year?
The musical sophomore year
Oh, it was
You're in
Urinetown.
Town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. I liked you when you were in town.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really hated being in that musical because there were so many annoying people underneath us. The grade below us, I was not a fan of them. Not all of them, but there were a couple people specifically that didn't stay in the like musical show choir scene for very long, but were just in it for the sophomore year. That I was like, why are you here?
Annoying.
Sorry.
Yeah. No,
why are you here?
Yeah, so true.
But you know, I hope you're doing well now.
Hey, we didn't hate you for long.
It was a phase on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sophomore year to junior year, musicals. What did we do for musical and play junior year?
The Wiz.
Junior year we did
The Wiz.
which is
In our town. Oh, man. Junior year was a bad year.
Junior year was a rough year. Junior year also kind of my favorite year of school. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys.
Because it's the year that we became friends and she decided that I was really great.
It's true. And it's the year that I started driving, so I could actually have plans with friends.
Yeah.
And hang out after school and outside of school.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Wow, were your parents dropping you off every day?
Yeah.
And picking you up? Wow.
Yeah, which is a lot because I lived about 20 to 25 minutes away from school.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's really an effort.
It
Good
is.
for them.
It
Good
was
for
a
you.
huge effort. Hey, good. Thank you. I drove a lot in high school. I was driving almost an hour every day, just normally, and then every now and then it was almost 2 hours because I would go back for musical practice or for band practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. But yeah, no, I started having friends junior year, and I joined NHS, and I hated it, and so I dropped NHS. Which is awesome.
NHS was pretty much like the lowest commitment thing that you could do, minus the community service hours.
Right.
Because we had like one meeting a month or something like that. And you just had to do community service. And then you could be in your committee. Your committee would do maybe a second meeting in that month to be like, hey, we're in this committee. I guess we should meet. And maybe they would do something for the year. But everyone struggled getting that 40 hours. Because you needed, I want to say you needed 40 hours for the year. Or is it 40 hours each semester?
I don't know. All I know is that I lied.
Yeah, most people lied.
Yeah.
We knew.
Yeah.
We all knew.
It's a bit terrible.
But that's how it goes.
But I also had to do Stuco hours. We were required to do a certain number of hours per week for student council.
And could you not overlap?
Pretty crazy. I don't think so.
Ugh, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's silly.
It was hard. So I dropped NHS. I joined for a very small amount of time a Sources of Strength group.
Oh, I also joined that.
Yeah.
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 We had a lot of unfortunate events happen during high school, and Sources of Strength was like
born out of some mental health needs in our school, in our community. And it was cool, and the group was a good idea, and I think that the people who were in it for longer, it was a really good thing for, but I don't know. I didn't stay in it for very long. There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think junior year, so sophomore year, I did tennis for a second year, but I didn't do tennis my junior year. And then junior year was the last year that I did volleyball. I did not do volleyball my senior year. I was like, I'm done with this, and we're moving down the musical theater and show choir pipeline.
I did not realize that you did volleyball all 3 years.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I wasn't good.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. What'd you do, Kade?
Well, these Y'all seem like you were on the upward train. I was getting sadder and sadder.
Oh, okay.
Because I was just an emotional wreck. By my own problems that I was causing. But yeah, I just was running and I was like running. Actually, I ran really well. I was number 1 on the team.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
and I became de facto leader kind of in terms of like I just could get the ball rolling because I mean getting high schoolers to do anything is kind of lame.
and talent speaks for itself.
And talent and
Right.
also just an aggressive yelling can also just work charms. So yeah, and then yeah, I moved and I was planning on switching schools
Wow.
Wow.
up until the day when I auditioned with you guys.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
kind of wild because this is like the pinnacle of the friendship. And where we all really started to bond together. So Kade and I were friends in another group
Yeah.
of friends.
Yeah.
And also Kade and I had known each other like growing up.
Yeah.
Kind of weaving in and out of closeness, I'd say. Like
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
we'd
a
be
good way to
close
be.
and then sometimes like
Yeah.
we just like wouldn't. And then back and forth and back and forth. But at the end of junior year, I was like, Kade, you should audition for show choir. Like, you would be so good at it, and I just think you should. We need people, and like, you'd be amazing. And I don't know why exactly, like, what your reasoning was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, why not? Or like, if you had always really wanted to do it. I remember our debut, we had the same debut musical in 6th grade. I just recently reminded Kade that we were in Crazy Camp together,
Mhm.
and and we were just little babies in our first musical theater production.
Yeah.
But yeah, go through some reason why you decided to do show choir.
So let's back up. Okay,
Back up.
sad boy Cade is going through a rough time. I had moved, and I had kind of ruined some friendships earlier in the year by my own bad decision making, and so I was really sad. And I was already depressed anyway. But it just kept getting worse, and then like I smashed a hole in my wall, and that was bad. And then I basically was like, I need to switch schools, or something needs to improve.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, the like deadline for switching schools is like next week. So I need to make a decision now. Either go to school nearby me, because I had moved in December. So I actually could have gone to a different school because I was in the area. Or I continued to drive to school 20 minutes or whatever. But I was like, oh, what should I do? And so I prayed about it, and I was like, God, I need a sign like tomorrow. Like I can't do this anymore because I'm sad. And so the next day it ended up going really well, and like practice went really well, and people sat with me at lunch, and that went really well. And then after practice they walked up to me and were like, oh my gosh, by the way,
You should join show choir.
you should do this. And I was like, I guess the day's been going well. And so clearly this is some kind of sign that God sent to me. So that's what ended up happening. Is I auditioned with. I was like, what do I do? And
Yeah.
you guys were like, do you know any show tunes? And I was like, let's see if I can think of one.
Let me rifle through my
Let me-
portfolio.
I was like all like 3 musical songs that I know, and so I chose. I think it was
Oklahoma?
It was
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma from
no,
Oklahoma, and so yeah, that's what I chose. I was like, sure, and he was like, "Do you know scales?" I was like, "Nope, I don't know nothing." So
You're like, you're lucky I'm here.
I'm like, I got whatever comes out of my mouth. That is. I got.
It's wild.
So, yeah.
It's so wild because you didn't practice, and the first time I tried out for show choir, I practiced for a month.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And
Wow.
you just went in and you did so good. I remember because Kiera was friends with you, and I didn't really know you, but I was like, it's a boy, because that's just how I existed in life in high school. It's weird. Anyway, so Kiera was like, you should try out for show choir, and then I was behind Kiera, and I was like, you should try out for show choir. Hi. And then we went into a practice room, and you sang Oklahoma, and like the creeper I am, I recorded you singing Oklahoma.
Did you really?
Oh my God, Sarah.
I recorded you and I showed it to my mom. Because I was like, Jason's friend's younger brother
Yeah.
can sing
Yeah.
and he's joining show choir. And she was like, wow.
Because I hadn't spoken a ton to Sarah. We were in the same English class, but we like did not speak very much because I was awkward and I sat like 3 rows away. But I had met Sarah before. I had come to her house at a pasta party with her brother. I've met her family
because my brother ran.
And my sister ran at the same time.
Yeah.
And so like I had met Sarah. I'd seen Sarah briefly. Like I remember her walking. We were like eating pasta as it was raining, and she's like I think you were like trying to avoid all the high schoolers.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I live here, but I can't interact with these like high schoolers. But I'm like the other awkward like 12-year-old who was there.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm like, there's girl. And so that's all that was our previous interactions.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
It's
sorry.
clearly a core memory for Kade, though.
I remember.
My house, hey.
It was
a cool house.
at your house, and your mom was really upset that it was raining because she had planned like a whole thing outside.
Well, because my mom famously does not keep a clean house, and so we only entertain outside. Did you ever notice that all of my birthday parties were outside?
Yeah.
It's not just because it's September and it's nice out. It's because we can't clean our house.
And we know this now because we live with Sarah.
Yes. And what am I going to do for my going away party? Have a party outside.
Yeah, not in the house. But, wow, I feel like that led us into senior year. And senior year was full of show choir. It was full of musical theaters because all 3 of us were in show choir, musical theater, and I don't know if you did the play or
I
not.
did not do the play.
I was not.
But you did.
I did the play for the first time.
Yeah.
Senior year.
The play
I'm
was
terrible
Clue.
at acting.
It was Clue. You know, Clue was interesting. They split us
I am
into 2.
terrible
They
at
double casted us and had us alternate nights.
Yeah.
I was
saw both.
Mrs. Peacock.
Yeah.
It was fine. You know, Sarah was the cop.
I was the cop. I was killed. So, that's cool. No, Clue, very funny movie. High schoolers, not great at comedy.
No, and
Yeah.
high schoolers also just like not great at anything.
True.
Like the whole thing was kind of meh. But, you know, we tried and it was still fun because we were all together. That was when I feel like the click really clicked into place.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the time.
That's when we started vlogging.
That's when we started vlogging. So you thought podcasts were our first endeavor. Nay, nay.
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 We first were vloggers.
Because I went to summer camp the summer before, and someone at my summer camp did like video blogs, and it was so fun. And I was like, I have friends now. I'm gonna do video blogs. And so we would sit in our car after school, and we would record videos talking about the day.
Yeah,
And
just
it was
like we're
really
doing
fun.
now.
Just like right now, but on a camera phone, and like for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
or
it
something
would be
like
a lot
that.
shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, not very entertaining.
No, we were just talking about nothing. We also thought we were so funny. I still think we're funny.
We're super funny.
But we definitely say it a little bit less. We used to say it all the time.
Yeah.
We just go, we're so funny.
We're so funny.
And then
It's
laugh
crazy.
really hard.
Yeah.
About nothing. But senior year was
awesome.
good.
Senior year was really good.
We have mentioned the iconic musical that we were all in and all had main parts in.
Indeed.
Which was wonderful.
Super
Once Upon
stellar.
a Mattress.
Once Upon a Mattress. Amazing.
Sarah was the main princess, Winifred.
Yay.
Fred for short.
Yay.
Kade and I were love interests.
Who had a baby?
There was a baby there was a bun in the oven.
There was a bun in the oven.
Yeah, that was a scandal.
Scandal.
And it was
Scandal.
It was fun. I thought senior year was like the best in terms of extracurriculars.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I had dropped volleyball and tennis at that time.
Nice.
Because I simply could not
You
Yeah.
could
do
not.
these things.
No.
And I also, Knowledge Bowl was a freshman, sophomore year thing. I was no longer doing Knowledge Bowl and I was no longer doing Ham Radio Club.
Nice.
But I was NHS, National Honor Society, president.
Snap, snaps. I quit NHS so that Kiera and I could still have a friendship. I didn't want to be a really, really poor member underneath her leadership. I thought it would reflect badly, so I quit.
Obviously, and
Like a
you
queen.
know, appreciate it. Trick or treat street went great.
I ran for student body president and lost.
So she was senior class president.
Yay! Which means that when we all get to relive our high school years together at the reunion, I'm gonna be the one planning it.
We're halfway there. Did you think about that?
I have thought about
It's
that
been
because
5
people have
years.
asked. People mostly being my family, not actual other classmates. but
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did we do anything else exciting that was only senior year?
only senior year.
Oh, you know what? One very small club that I was part of. It was junior year. It was called the Spartan Spirit Squad.
No way.
Do you remember this?
You were in that?
Unfortunately.
That's so funny.
I don't know why. I think it's because we got a free shirt, and I was like, sure, I want a free shirt.
Sure. That was so funny. You're
And so,
holy shirt. I want a free shirt.
and so I joined the Spartan Spirit Club, got
Oh,
to
no.
sit or like stand at a special spot during sporting events, and we had cheers and things.
Wow.
But I
That's
did
really
not
cool.
go to any of the sporting events. I just took the free t-shirt and
Oh my god.
quit.
Oh my god. Nice. Yeah.
That was weird.
Let's see.
Cute.
I got my first job
Ooh.
because I worked at Walgreens, and I just made fun of people, and I danced at the cash register
Dancing.
Dance.
because I had to memorize new dances.
Yeah. There was a lot of dancing
Yeah.
senior year.
Show choir.
Show choir and
And the musical.
senior year we went to Disney
Oh my god, so true.
through show choir,
Yeah.
mostly because of Sarah's parents and their
True.
planning.
True.
But we went to Disney, we competed in a show choir competition in LA, which was big city for us, and we were not that good. But that was the finale of the year. I think everyone was happy.
Yeah.
And that kind of rounds out our high school extracurriculars.
Yeah, there was a lot of other stuff that happened that weren't essentially structured in extracurricular activities, or like a lot of stuff that happened with classes for me. But you got the gist of who I was essentially because of all of the things that I did outside of class, which is crazy.
Crazy.
So,
But-
and how we became friends.
Yeah, now you have a little bit backstory. Now we're no longer
No
long
longer.
distancing.
I was about to say, we're still friends.
We're still
Hold
friends.
on.
But we're no longer long distancing.
No long
And we all
distancing.
get to live together for a little
Short
while.
distancing.
And we're so happy Kade got to be on our little podcast. Now you have a wonderful update. Isn't this a cool, like, evolution?
It is.
Yeah.
Now we're
Super
here.
fun.
I was here 9-10 months ago, and then again.
Well, you're
4
still
months ago,
You're
and now-
still like one of the founders, basically, of this podcast.
I was present
You
at
were there
the
with the
adjourning meetings and preemptive planning.
Indeed.
Those were the most important.
Yeah.
It's true.
But we really hope you enjoyed this episode. We post episodes every single Wednesday. We have an Instagram that we sometimes but rarely post to. And
Maybe we'll post a picture of us doing some of these extracurricular activities.
maybe we will. Maybe
That'd be
you'll
really
see
fun.
them.
You could get perhaps a picture of me in my letter jacket with all of the letters that I collected throughout the years.
Yeah.
Could be
yeah.
pretty fun.
We Sarah and I went through our letter climbing.
We collected the patches.
We did.
Call us Girl Scouts. Because we were collecting patches. Okay, send this to someone that you were in an extracurricular club with in high school. Send this to someone that you joined an extracurricular club with to spend more time with. Send this to
Okay.
someone that you hated, but then you
Because
became
they
really
liked
good
him-
friends with.
Because they fake dated
Yeah.
a boy that you
We didn't fake date.
You real dated, and I was
real dated,
sad
my
about
bad.
it. So send this to someone that you wanted to real date but didn't, because they fake dated someone else. Send this to a friend.
Why are we fake dating?
Send this to someone who you were really good friends with, and then they left the school.
Yeah.
Send this to someone who you became friends with
because somebody else.
someone else left the school.
Alrighty, we're cutting it off here. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. We really did. And we will talk to you next time on
Arguably speaking. Bye.